I'm Tim Ken, and I'm the CEO for TK Canneries in Darren Berhad. I inherited the family business from my father. He once said to me, Atai, I'll be gone one day and you will have to take over the business. If you work hard enough, you will be the king of cans. My father is gone now, and I've become the king of cans like my father said. With a lot of help from my supportive wife, we transformed my father's humble shop lot into a medium-sized factory in Rawang that can anything. Canned pineapples? Can. Canned curry chicken? Can. Canned lychee? Can. If you can think it, we can can it. Then one day, I encountered a new challenge that changed everything for me. Running my business from home. That's when I heard those words for the first time.
Managing your business from home? That can't be easy.
I knew my wife was right. But what choice do I have? I'm the king of can, not the king of can't. I tried accessing my work documents. Did I leave it in the office?
How to keep track of all your documents? I can't imagine.
Keeping track of my staff was impossible. Hey, Sam, have you submitted your report? I don't see it in my inbox. Can you send it now?
So many staff to monitor. This can't be possible.
I tried to plan my day. I'm booked for 2 meetings at the same time? How did this happen?
There's just too many meetings to attend. This is so confusing. It can't be easy.
Running a business from home is a challenge. There's got to be a way to make it easier. But then, my wife showed me something that just might work. I was intrigued, so I started doing more research. I found the solution with Microsoft 365. In addition, I can apply for any digitization grants or loan for SMEs to help me along the way. Awesome! So, I got a hold of a Microsoft partner and acquired a Microsoft 365 subscription. Armed with Microsoft 365, let's see how much I can accomplish in one day. Attending meetings from home is now a breeze. I can even collaborate and work on business plans in real time with my staff using Teams. Can. With Teams, OneDrive, and familiar Office apps like Word, PowerPoint, or Excel, I can share and collaborate on document edits in real time with my staff. More importantly, privacy and security controls are built into the platform. So, I don't have to worry about files being leaked out or shared without permission. Can. Shh. Discussions with my staff can happen anytime, anywhere. Even when the surrounding environment is noisy. Just turn on live caption. Can. Keeping track of tasks on hand of my staff is also easier with Planner. Planner allows me to monitor all the action items my team has at one glance. On the customer side of things, it is even better as now they can see my available time slots and book a business call with me. All it takes is less than a minute with bookings and it's done. And thanks to Power Apps, we managed to develop a sales order app that monitors our inventory, update pricing, check sales order status, and load orders for our customers as well. Now, the team can get more done in less time. Can. With my cannery business back on track, I'm now back to being the king of can. I'm Tim Ken, and if I can run my business smoothly from home with Microsoft 365, you can too.
The future of Malaysia's inclusive growth is digital. Malaysia's digital economy presents exciting opportunities for every Malaysian to thrive and succeed. Microsoft arrived here almost 30 years ago, greeted by the nation's promising potential. Together with Malaysia, we aim to help harness that potential. As our country progresses further on its journey to become a regional leader in the digital economy, we're working in close partnership with the Rakyat Business and government to help drive Malaysia's inclusive, responsible, and sustainable development, to advance Malaysia's digital economy and innovation. We're building and enabling digital infrastructure with our first Microsoft data center region in Malaysia. This will drive new socio-economic opportunities in the country. To further boost Malaysia's growth, we're empowering digital workforce and ensuring digital inclusion, including a commitment to skill 1 million Malaysians by the end of 2023. Our commitment to Malaysia is grounded on our mission to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. As Malaysia takes its next digital leap forward, together we stand with Malaysia.
Hello and a very good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 2 of the Microsoft SME Forum, leveraging modern technology to drive business growth. My name is Julie Woon, and I'm delighted to be back here once again as your host this morning. For those who joined us yesterday for part 1 of the webinar, welcome back. This webinar is brought to you by Star Media Group in partnership with Microsoft. I hope you're keeping well and safe wherever you're tuning in from, and thank you for taking the time to join us here today. Feel free to chat with us and let us know your thoughts throughout today's webinar. You can type your questions or comments in the chat box or in the comment section. At this webinar, you will learn how technology can help to transform businesses in this digital age. Before we begin, allow me to share with you just a few quick reminders. Please be patient if you experience any technical or internet glitches during this webinar. If the session is disconnected abruptly at any point in time, please hang on tight as the show will go on. And we will definitely be right back in just a short while. If you need any assistance from us, please chat with us, or you could also email us at events@thestar.com.my. If you have any questions on your organizational challenges or business concerns, please post it in the chat box or the comment section. We will try to address all of your questions. If you're on the Microsoft Teams platform, feel free to turn on live captions for the event if you please. For part 1 of the series, which was held yesterday, we had an exciting discussion with industry leaders on how SMEs are transforming digitally. For part 2 of the series today, we will be hearing from Microsoft's partners on some of the technologies available for SMEs. Now, allow me to go through our agenda for today. We will have Tan Shu Hoon, the SMB Sales Manager from Microsoft Malaysia, kickstart the session today. Following that, we're delighted to have Raymond Chow from Infront Consulting joining us to share with you the benefits of digitizing your business today. Then we will have Hong Zhan Cheng from Softline Malaysia, who will be speaking on security in a box, how you can adapt to a hybrid model with security in mind. And last but not least, we will have Vivian Poh from Lideronomics Digital to talk about what an ever-ready workforce is and what it means in today's world. Do stay with us until the end of the webinar to complete the survey form from the Star Media Group and stand a chance to win prizes worth up to 500 ringgit. With that said, let's now welcome Tan Shu Hoon, SMB Sales Manager at Microsoft Malaysia, to kickstart today's event. Over to you, Shu Hoon.
Hello and a very good morning, everyone. My name is Shu Hoon, and I'm the SMB Sales Manager at Microsoft Malaysia. Welcome to today's digital event, and thank you for taking time to join us. I would like to kickstart today's session with a statement that resonates with many of our colleagues at Microsoft. We have seen 2 years' worth of digital transformation in 2 months. This was a statement from Satya Nadella, the Chairman and CEO of Microsoft. COVID-19 pandemic ushered in a wave of digital transformation as technology became a key to building business resilience. Now, more than 2 years later, this wave transformation continues to sweep across not only Malaysia, but the world. We believe that operating in a new business normal requires certain foundational digital structure, such as the cloud and the strong security posture. However, it's also important to know that business does not have to be large to succeed when using technology. Today, you will be hearing from our partners on the solutions that you can adopt to bring your business to the next level. Please enjoy today's sessions and thank you once again for joining us today.
Thank you, Shu-Hoon. Now, before we move on to the rest of the program, let's watch a video of how Microsoft 365 for Business can provide you with the necessary tools to keep your business safe and secure.
Hello, this is Tim Ken, CEO of TK Canneries near Berhad.
Tim, I'm so sorry, but I won't be able to submit your latest label designs by Friday.
The Can Mee Goreng was supposed to be a flagship product for the year. We need it for the big launch. What happened?
I know, but someone hacked into the design agency. It all started last Tuesday. Everything was fine until I noticed something was wrong with Cindy. That's when I realized someone logged in with Cindy's password and now this person has access to my office. This person now has access to all my company's communications. And Tim, he's spreading viruses, Tim. Viruses! I'm at a loss, Tim. I don't know what to do.
I do. Just use Microsoft 365 for Business.
Microsoft 365 for Business?
Microsoft 365 for Business? That's right. Microsoft 365 for Business is easy to set up. It literally works out of the box. No setup or management required. It comes with multi-factor authentication so all your logins are secure. With conditional access, you can block or grant access to your resources by applying specific-based policies and conditions. With Microsoft 365, your files are encrypted to ensure safe and secure communications, even during file transfers. Microsoft Defender for Office 365 safeguards you from threats like business email compromise, ransomware, and advanced malware. Privacy and security controls in Teams, Outlook email, and other Office apps protect your employees from phishing and malware. Microsoft 365 also provides spam filtering and virus protection on all inbound and outbound emails. Azure Information Protection allows you to apply labels to content, classifying and securing documents and emails from prying eyes. Should any of your devices fall into the wrong hands, Microsoft Intune allows you to automatically protect and remove sensitive organization data from applications in a snap.
Thanks, Tim, for recommending Microsoft 365 for Business to me.
No problem. Security risks from hackers can happen to any SME owner, even you. So don't take the risk. If others can take the necessary steps to keep a business safe and secure with Microsoft 365 for Business, you can too.
What an eye-opening video that was. It showed us the common security risks that companies, big or small, may face in their day-to-day operations. And it is comforting to know that there are solutions available to counter that. Now, coming up next, we have with us today Raymond Chow, Regional Managing Director of Infront Consulting Group, who will be speaking on the benefits of digitizing your business today. Over to you, Raymond.
Thank you so much for the kind introduction. And I feel really privileged and grateful to be with everybody here today in this event. The way we work will never be the same. This is the new norm. Now, how many times have we heard those words being said time and time again over the last 2 years? So here's the thing. The reality is that times have changed. Banks have transitioned to be able to offer new service teams to be able to do remote. Now we have an app that we can book online to have an appointment with an officer. Schools have pretty much been closed in the last 2 years and have all been needing to transition to online learning. Grocery stores have embraced online e-commerce and they have been offering online ordering for the last couple of years, for the last 2 years at least. Now, somebody I coached about last year in November 2020, he started a health supplement online ordering business. And just in 6 months after, in March 2021, when I last checked with him, he was already transacting about $1.4 million a month. And these are the trends that is very evident in the world today. Doctors have transitioned to telemedicine. Manufacturers have transitioned to what they call lights out factories, right? Where they have scheduled operation throughout the day. Hi everybody, my name is Ray Chow. I'm the CEO of Infront Consulting. I'm also a business coach, and for the last 2 years, I've coached more than 500 entrepreneurs and their companies to scale their business and also to come out of the pandemic and moving into this endemic, and they have also thrived. Now, Infront Consulting is one of the pioneers in offering Microsoft Cloud solutions in the region. And we've helped hundreds of companies in the last couple of years to digitize, pivot, and to also become more efficient in their business and also their offerings. Today, I wanted to share with you why businesses have to evolve and why they have to figure out a way to digitize their business, especially now that we're coming out of the pandemic, moving into the endemic, and truly seeing how to take advantage of this era. Now, the only thing that we all know that we can be certain about is that change happens, right? We've all heard it before. We've all experienced it, and we've all feared change. Human nature hates change because we are naturally comfort creatures, right? And if there's one thing the pandemic has taught us, is sometimes change is not a choice. Change sometimes is not a choice. It is just a matter of how we take action on it. How do we react to change? So, as we approach this new phase, as in this endemic phase, right? A lot of things, we are in the phase 4 currently. A lot of things are open now. So businesses are considering now how to return back to normal. I'm sure many of you guys here are thinking about, okay, how do we come back to the office? What are the shifts that we have to look at? But what is it that has happened? So this is not something that I have to convince you guys about, because we are all in it together. We are all in this COVID-19 virus phase all together, and we want to come out of this even better than before. So what have we seen so far in the last 2 years? Or rather, I'm going to say the last 6 months. First thing is that although, we've all been embraced with the digital channels. Now, those are the first-time users in digital channels over the last 2 years. They've indicated that they will continue to go online moving forward, especially those that are over 50 years old. Now, why is this? So there's still a lot of fear out there. And you know what? My mom in her own little community, they keep forwarding messages to each other, and a lot of fear. A lot of the WhatsApp media sharing how gruesome it is to get COVID-19, how it affects drastically the elderly population. And this has caused a lot of fear. So, and the fear means that they dare not go out. My mom doesn't want to go out. She wants to still order online groceries until today, even though we can go to the supermarket. And the thing that we have to realize is the domino effect is also seen with those that are also living with our parents. And, we have to look at how we also socialize. We've had to shift also from some form of work from home over the last 2 years. And I'm sure many of us have experienced this. And this is the second thing. So work from home is something that we had no choice to do. But many businesses have seen the benefits of this. Efficiency have gained about probably 75%. But also the reality is that burnout has also gone up by about 46%. So the elimination of traveling, all the water cooler talks, many businesses have even given up their offices and choose to go completely work from home. I know of 3 friends of mine who has, gave up their offices and gone to work from home. Now, the reality is that many people have now developed a preference of work from home, and they don't want to go back to the office, and they don't want to go back to the old ways of working in the office. So how does businesses now react to this? Because we all want higher productivity. And you know what? The reality is that not everybody is able to work from home. And we can see this primarily also in the millennials generation, right? 8 in 10 millennials has attended a variety of life experiences. But guess what? 60% of them still feels that things have to be done online. So what does this mean? If we're going to embrace the new generation, we have to embrace this information that no matter what we try to do, digital is still going to be the way to go. Now, the third thing that we've seen so far here is this. There's a couple of things that's rising. Cost is rising. A lot of things are rising. But one of the things which is very, very important, and I've seen this happening over conversation with friends, is that the one thing that is arising here is expectations. I was talking to a friend who owns a restaurant a couple of weeks ago, and he says now that customers dining in are getting more angrier. They're getting more impatient. They want their food instantly. They can't even wait a couple of minutes. Every little thing agitates them. So expectations of people now is getting higher and higher. So the signs are showing that every business needs to embrace some form of digitization. I've listed down 3 for you guys. So either internally by automating processes, creating systems to do things faster, or developing a business model that has tech in it. If we don't embrace this future, we may not have one. As I coach many different businesses, I've seen those that quickly pivoted throughout this journey. And I mentioned an online business that transacts about $1.4 million a month earlier. A cake business who mainly did OEM business, which was transacting about $2 million a year. During the pandemic, they shifted to doing a B2C business, created a more structured system to process orders. They spent about 200,000 ringgit on this system. Most would look at this 200,000 and says, wow, it's so much to spend on a system, right? But you know what? This year, they are going to be hitting 5.5 million. Now, I operate a small business as well, and I see 500 over businesses of different shapes and sizes over the last couple of years. And what I want to share with you guys is this. If we don't embrace digital, if we don't push the limits a little, especially during this recovery phase, truly we will lose out. Now, the very big question here is this. What do we do next? So based on all the trends that we've seen, what we forecast will be how businesses operate in the future. So I want to just share with you a couple of recommendations to look at in 3 critical steps. Let's talk about the first one. So the first step is to create a 3-team environment. And in conversation I had with a CEO called Lim Boon Seong, and he owns Vista Eye Specialist, a LASIK eye center with over 10 outlets all over Malaysia. And, in a conversation, we said that, we all have to embrace this 3-team culture. What is the 3-team culture? The first one is that one team has to focus on survival. And this team is really looking at, what is the cash flow? How do we actually embrace this current times? How do we save certain money? And this is really about getting us through these times. And on top of that is the second team, which is the today team. And the today team really looks at how do we operate? What do we do for customers? Do we do a test every single week? What do we absolutely do today? And the most important team here is the third one, which is the tomorrow team. The tomorrow team looks at innovation, looks at what do we do next? What do we embrace? How do we digitize our business? What is the new business models that we're looking at? Because if we don't have this tomorrow team, we will not be able to look forward. And this is really a crucial step. The second thing that we have to look at in step 2 is that once we have this team, then we need to look in our tomorrow team, look at a structure or a process of what we have, what our customers have, or even what the industry has. And once we create this structure or we think about this structure, then we look at every step of this structure and every step of this process to identify key areas which we could basically help to automate or to even digitize. Now, what I'm showing you guys here is a typical look at the process of the travel industry. So from when somebody leaves home, goes to the airport, takes the flight, reaches the other airport, reaches the taxi and reaches to the hotel. Every part of this process is the top now of what are the areas can we digitize and automate. And as a business, how do we play? What can we do in this process? So look at the process, look at maybe your own internal process even, if you're not going to go outside. You know, what I do personally is in my teams, we use post-it notes. And this is the most simplest form that you can do. Take a couple of post-it notes, write out the processes and stick it on a wall. And then look at the process generally and then ask yourselves, where can we digitize and where can we play? And the third one, once you've understood or looked at the first 2 steps, then step number 3 is to look for a cloud partner. Now, why? Because we all have to understand one very, very important fact. This is the era of speed. And it is not about who is the best anymore. It is who is the fastest. Look at how people communicate today. You send a WhatsApp message to somebody today, you expect a reply instantly. You look whether or not a person has read your message, whether or not there's 2 blue ticks, and if the person doesn't reply you get frustrated, correct? That is the reality of the situation today. Everything is about who is the fastest. So you need to do what you do best. So look for a tech partner, look for a cloud partner that can consult you and then move as fast as you can. Look for someone in the digital tech world that knows the landscape best so that you can focus on what you do best. Now, we have personally been helping many businesses to transform, from simple things like giving them better email systems, better cloud storage systems, helping them take care of their IT stuff while they focus on the business stuff. We've also helped businesses to automate processes, have them rely less on human intervention, less on human errors. We've also helped some businesses to process their data so that it's easier to read and put it into dashboards so that they can make decisions faster. And some, we've even helped them to, especially the healthcare industries, to use artificial intelligence technologies to do more predictive automations. We've been working with the National Health Institute here in Malaysia for the last 2 years on different projects, COVID related and also future related. So, we can definitely help, but most importantly, regardless of who you choose, you have to start with the mindset to shift. It is not easy, I can tell you that. Work on the first 2 steps. If you have the first 2 steps already aligned, set up the team, and then look at the process, and then go to step 3, look for somebody that can consult you and to get things done fast. Remember, this is the era of speed. You snooze, you lose. So I hope this session has given you some sort of an idea of what all SMEs should be exploring and doing next. The reality is that we have to start somewhere. If we stand still and do nothing, nothing will happen. It is either we are growing or we are dying. That is a fact. Even taking small steps is better than taking no steps. And I pray that all of us will embrace the digital world, as I believe that all companies will be a tech company in the future. So thank you very much again, everybody. I know I only have 15 minutes to talk to you guys, and I'd be happy to talk to you guys more about it after today. And for those of you guys who have listened right to the end, thank you again. And I hope that you guys have gotten some value from it. And if there's any way we can help, please do let us know. We want to be able to embrace this digital world moving forward. I personally, even as a business coach, I want to see SMEs actually rising. Because if SMEs don't rise, the economy will not. So if there's any way we can help, that is my email address there. And do contact me, and I'll be happy to have a conversation. So thank you very much for listening. Have a great rest of the event. I wish you a COVID-free day. Thank you, everybody. Take care.
Thank you, Raymond, for the insightful presentation. If you would like to reach out to Infront Consulting for more information, feel free to send them an email or scan the QR code on your screen to complete the survey form. Coming up next, we have Hong Chan Cheng, Solution Sales for Microsoft Modern Work from Softline Malaysia, who will speak on the importance of data security in the workplace. Over to you, Hong.
Well, hello and good day. Thank you for inviting me to today's session. It's a great opportunity to speak to you guys about security. But before we begin, maybe I would like to introduce myself. I'm Hong, your speaker for today. I'm a solution sales from Softline Malaysia that primarily focuses on Microsoft Modern Workspace, helping customers with consultation as well as the implementation. Well, so time flies, right? I mean, without us realizing, we have been working from home for more than 1 year. With no warning, no knock on the door, the pandemic has really forced us to work away from home. We have seen examples whereby working from home being a permanent fixture. To some extent, even owning a physical office is no longer a thing. Ever since the lockdown, we all scrambled to work from home. There's no denying that. I mean, there's no time for proper planning. It was so sudden. I mean, in fact, most of the organization wasn't even expecting that. Unfortunately, it was also the time we see an increase in cyber attack. We have seen an increase in phishing attacks, especially via emails. Very prominent one is attacking using news on vaccine to actually entice users to click on it. We have seen increase in ransomware attack. The most notable one is the Colonial Pipeline and also the Kaseya attack. The idea of using your own device has been gaining traction during the pandemic. As such, your work data is no longer secure as we know it. We are working away from our offices. I mean, even our office network and our office firewall isn't protecting us anymore. I mean, in fact, data leak has reached an all-time high. I mean, we have heard complaints from customers saying that, how do I actually protect my data? Is there any solution available? It can't be denied that security vulnerabilities is ever increasing. I mean, the rush to begin working from home has actually exposed that even further. We have seen scenarios whereby companies are struggling to keep devices secure and managed. I mean, that being said, we actually need a proper solution to actually keep us protected and secure. I mean, as attack gets more sophisticated and comes in different flavors, a method to deal with it has also actually changes. Not keeping up with the latest knowledge, not having the latest technology, will actually bring detrimental effect to an organization. But not to worry, we actually derive two approaches when dealing with this. Number one would be we have to actually ensure only the right person has access to your environment. So what you have to do is you have to actually cut reliant on multiple set of passwords. You have to actually integrate Azure AD SSO with cloud apps and on-prem application to actually provide you additional layer of security. There's no doubt. Besides that, having only a single layer of security is no longer secure. You have to actually leverage your MFA and conditional access to actually restrict access to specific people. Lastly would be adoption of passwordless. I believe many of you have heard of it. I mean, it's a new buzzword recently, and even using biometrics and PIN, two can actually help you protect your environment. Number two would be taking a proactive approach to actually identify and remediate something before it actually happens. We first have to discover. How to discover, you ask? Well, using Secure Score. It is a dashboard provided by Microsoft to give you a measurement on your security posture. From there, you can identify what sort of improvement you could make to actually secure your environment. Once we have discovered what's going on, we have to understand the risk. What is going on? What's going to happen if the risk is not mitigated? What is going to happen if the risk is mitigated? Lastly would be evaluate. We have to understand what recommendations to apply and what it is going to do that will actually impact your organization. Without doing so, the transition to a secure remote work would never be smooth. So moving on, now that I actually lay out all the approaches, it's time to actually leverage on products by Microsoft to actually further increase and protect your environment. So email is one of the most essential tools in an organization. We have seen customers saying that email is the most critical item in their organization. Without email, your entire workforce productivity would be impacted. Unfortunately, it is also the most abused avenue of an attacker to begin a chain of attack. What we can do is we have to equip ourselves with a comprehensive email protection tool. The tool itself has to be integrated with Office 365. It needs to offer simple administration, and all configuration can be done over in a single pane. And this is what Microsoft Defender for Office 365 has to offer. I mean, it can't be denied, right? Email is the main attack vector, but protecting email itself is not sufficient at all. We too have to start protecting our files. We need to be able to protect our files in SharePoint. We need to be able to protect it in OneDrive. We need to be able to protect it in Teams. And this is all can be done using Microsoft Defender for Office 365. Lastly, email attack is so common. So an IT admin might receive multiple alerts on emails in a day. With automated investigation and response, burden toward an IT admin would drastically reduce. Because with the help of playbooks, playbooks can actually replicate an actual human. So whatever a human actually do, this is what automated investigation and response can help you resolve. Here, I would actually like to introduce to you guys two terms. Number one is safe attachment, and number two is safe links. So the one on the left is safe links in work. So you can see that it actually informs you that the link that you click is actually a phishing link. The one on the right is actually safe attachment at work, whereby it will actually perform and actually identify if the sandbox are using its own sandbox, whether the attachment is malicious or not. Moving on, MFA, right? It's more than ever important. I believe it is known that password alone is no longer secure anymore. We have seen increased attack in password using password spray, brute force, password dictionary attack. I mean, it is so common. You cannot deny your password is openly stored in the dark web. As a matter of fact, using tools such as Have I Been Pawned, you can actually identify which site has your password being leaked to. So having MFA, right, you could at least prevent 99.9% of an attack. We have actually seen it first-handedly. There's so many examples. So using Microsoft Authenticator, which allows you to push authentication along with biometric and PIN, as well as one-time password. Well, we understand implementing MFA isn't that straightforward. We have feedback from customers saying that my upper management is actually saying that MFA is actually disrupting their work. Is there any way to resolve this? It's so inconvenient. So what we suggest is, at the very, very least, what you can do is you can configure the right access policy so that user will only be requested for MFA only in specific scenarios. Moving on to the next slide, right? So passwordless is in the spotlight recently. Everyone has been talking about it, and maybe I could give you guys an example of how it looks like when it's in action. So instead of logging in using your password, you'll be prompted for digits to match from your Authenticator app. So upon matching the correct digits, you'll be given access. In fact, it's very simple. It's pretty straightforward, right? Lastly, I would like to actually talk to you guys about conditional access. Well, protecting your email, protecting your identity itself is not sufficient, I would say. What you can do is you can bring in conditional access to actually provide you an additional layer of security. Some of you might be wondering what conditional access is. An example I could give is that you can think of it as a tool to provide or block access to your cloud resources using conditions or what we call signals, such as location, devices, application, and even risk. It's actually pretty simple. So in fact, such condition, you can actually provide additional layer of security to your environment. So a couple of examples I could give, right? Things like your location, this is where you can define it by your IP and even your country. For devices, you can define devices such as your iOS device, your Android device, and even your Windows 10 device. But besides that, you can define what an application is. For example, your Office 365 is one of an application. Your on-prem application that's already integrated with Azure AD, that is your application as well. So lastly, would be risk level. What you can do with it is that you can control the level of risk, meaning to say, so if your user is at a certain risk level, that person will either be allowed to log in, or it will be prompt for MFA, or even actually force you to actually reset your password before gaining access to your resources. So here it is, conditional access in action. So to the left is our condition, so whereby we have actually selected based on our country. So the middle one is the action, meaning to say we have actually chose to block access. So to the right is your result, meaning to say what is going to happen if you hit that set of conditions. So at the end of the day, you won't be actually given access to actually log in. Well, that would be all for today. Now that we have presented you with solutions that's available, we still have a couple of minutes left. Maybe I could give you guys a brief introduction of who Softline is. We are a Microsoft Partner of the Year for 2021. We are a Gold Partner as well. To solidify our capabilities, we also do have advanced specialization in identity and access management and also threat protection, meaning to say we don't only have certified engineers, right, to deliver what we actually talked about just now. We also do have customer testimony to actually back up our capabilities of what we have actually proposed, which is how we actually gain our advanced specialization. So besides that, we are also a CSP partner, meaning to say we are able to sell you licenses as well. So if you are interested in the products that we've talked about just now, so we are the one to look, you can look for. So if you have noticed, I've only been talking about modern workplace, but this is not what Softline actually only do. I mean, if you notice the previous slide, we are also an Azure MSP, meaning to say we are able to actually assist you with your digital transformation from adopting Microsoft 365 all the way to Azure. So if you guys have any questions, right, I mean, do feel free to post it over at the chat. So we will take it offline and respond to your questions respectively. Well, thank you so much for your time. Before I end my session, maybe I could bring your attention to the QR code on the screen. So we will actually be offering you guys up to 3 packages to interested organization. We are actually giving out 1 month customer experience for the topics I've touched upon. So we will be offering Microsoft Workshop to those who are interested, whereby you are able to understand what sort of Microsoft product that Microsoft actually has to offer. And lastly would be a cybersecurity evaluation, which will actually give you a better understanding of what your current security posture is. And once again, thank you so much for your time. Do contact us if you are interested to actually discuss further. So thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Hong, for the informative session on data security. If you would like to reach out to Softline Malaysia for more information, feel free to send them an email or scan the QR code on your screen to complete their survey form. And our final speaker for today is Vivian Poh, Learning and Engagement Consultant from Lideronomics Digital, who will be speaking about being an ever-ready workforce. Over to you, Vivian.
Hello everyone, thank you for having me today. Let me do a quick introduction of myself. My name is Vivian and I'm from Lideronomics Malaysia. I'm currently doing client management and at the same time helping organizations to digitalize their learning and engagement. I'm excited to share with you today some nuggets on how to build an ever-ready workforce in 10 minutes. So let's get to it. I would like to start with this question. Will you have control over change? Now, everyone who is listening right now knows that change is the only constant in life and also at work. Especially in this volatile world, you can never predict what is coming and is definitely out of your control on the outcome of any situation you are in, because there are too many factors that are tied to it. But one thing you can control is how you think, feel, and act. Now, when we think about ever-ready workforce, we would imagine it to be like a bulletproof organization. So when they are in the face of adversity, they don't get shaken. What they do is they acknowledge it and huddle up to realign and re-strategize. And the key here is they are responding and not reacting. Because when you start reacting, you are allowing the emotion to take control of the situation, and it take away your focus from what is important here. Next, I would want to introduce you to some ways on how to achieve it, like how to become an ever-ready workforce. And they're actually a combination of two things. One is the right state of mind and a set of tools to set yourself ready for new challenges. There are three key elements that you should be paying attention to. The first is resilience. So what is resilience? So resilience is the ability of you to quickly bounce back from failures and setbacks by focusing on what is it within your control. Okay. Second, agility. So agility is where you be more flexible and creative in finding ways to navigate through the challenges. Last but not least is skills. You need to be competent in whatever you do by constantly acquiring knowledge and expertise as you go. Now, all this sounds like an expectation from the employee themselves, but I will show you some of the best practices as an individual and an organization can do. Okay, but before I go into the best practices, I would like you to think about this. Which is more important? To build a high-performing team to achieve business goals, or to build a self-sustaining ecosystem to support the growth of the business? I'll give you some time to think about it, and I'll come back to this question after this. Okay? Now, let's go into things that you can do as an individual or as an employee and as an institution. Tying back to the three key elements that we have talked about: resilience, agility, and skills. First one would be resilience. So resilience is where setting a mindset to be able to quickly bounce back from your setbacks and failures, right? Now, how do you do that? The first thing is you need to have a focus. At work or in life, you need to know where you're going. Along the way, you will fail, but that's okay. It's the matter of how you reframe the failure as an opportunity to learn. And the third one is keep yourself grounded. The journey would be very tough for you, but it's really good for you to keep yourself grounded by journaling. Now, if you like to write, or if you like to, in your own way, to record down your gratitude, or what happened in life that you feel bad about and you're sad about, put that all down. And when you look back, in the next 1-2 months, you will know that how much you have grown. You can see how much you have grown from in this period of time. On the flip side, on the institution, what can an organization or as a business do to support the employees? First thing is to ensure employee-business alignment. This is where you are effectively communicate your business goals down the organization to your employees. Remember that the employees need a focus, so you are giving them a focus. You're giving them a direction to work towards too. That's very important. That's number one. Second is, how do you engage and support the well-being of the team? So a very simple exercise that you can do if you are a people manager is do a quick check-in to your team, asking them how are they doing, how are they feeling, and if there's any help that they need, on their task. So by doing this, you are building a relationship with your team, and at the same time, you are giving them a safe space for them, to express themselves, to come to you whenever they need your help. Okay. Next, agility. Being agile is not easy, and this is a skill that you will need to learn along the way. But the key to become a more agile person or a more agile workforce is being resourceful. Often, most of the time, when you are in a tough situation, you might need to learn something because everything is just very new to you, right? So there is no time for you to ask for help. Everyone else is busy on their task. So being on your own, how can you get this task done? This is where being resourceful comes in very handy. So you would find creative ways to learn something, be it, go and take course or, go and ask a leader about advice or anything like that. Be resourceful. Secondly is you need to be able to look at the bigger picture and try to connect the dots. So it's very important for you to understand a whole situation as a whole, and you try to piece together piece of information to give you a better clarity about that particular problem. And lastly, be courageous. Do not be afraid to fail. Try whatever it is. Go and explore new opportunity, new experience. So don't be afraid to fail, because if you don't fail, you would never learn. All right. Now, on the flip side, as an organization, how you can support your team is you would need to prioritize empowerment. Trust your team that they can create. Trust your team that they can make better decisions, because sometimes when you want them to do things your way, things might not be as good as you want it to be. So because your way might not be the best way of doing things. So trust a team, who can create a better process or better outcome than yourself. Just let them go and, just let them shine. Secondly is encourage collaboration. This is very important when you want to align the whole organization, as in like whenever there is something that they need to come together, they are very comfortable to quickly reform and mobilize a team to attend to that particular issues. So you would need to encourage your team to collaborate with other team to work on certain projects. So this is where your employees will be able to explore more opportunities and to foster collaboration between the organization. And last one is flexibility over planning. Sometimes being too rigid on processes, on plan, might not help you whenever you need to quickly think of a solution or think of a way to solve a problem. Now, third one, which is very, very important, is skilling. As an individual, you will need to be able to identify your skill gap. So what is a skill gap? Skill gap is where you need to know what is your weakness, what is the skills that you would need to move forward in your career, and to perform better at your job. Next one is cultivate a growth mindset. So this is where you need to cultivate a mindset that is forward-looking, just like resilience. So you need to do a lot of reframing. You will need to stay focused and stay hungry for knowledge. Okay. On the flip side, from the organization point of view, institution needs to have defined, clear, and measurable performance metrics. So oftentimes, when we talk about performance management, I think most of the organizations are very good in this, where they have KPIs in place, competency framework in place, learning and development plan in place. But sometimes they are doing it just for the sake of, okay, to have a process in place. But if you deep dive into how do they, map this initiative to the employees, more often than not, these are not clear. So even the employees are not sure how are they measured against. So it is very important for the institution to have a clear and measurable performance metrics, and these are some of the bases which need to be communicated clearly to the people so that they know what are they lacking. So where are they right now and how to go to the next level. Okay. Last but not least is establishing a culture of feedback and teachback. So feedback is very important to give us an indication where we are, how well are we doing at our tasks. And this feedback has to be timely and has to be consistent throughout the year. So you cannot have your evaluation at the end of the year, because during the year, for the past 12 months, you have been doing a lot of stuff. May it be projects or collaboration between other departments. And when the times come for the evaluation, the evaluator might have a time-biased evaluation. So probably they will give you either a high score or a low score based on the recency, what happened in the recent months. So that is very unfair to you as an individual as well. So timely feedback, a culture of feedback where you are encouraging, giving and receiving feedback within the organization would help the individual to know where they are right now and how to help them to go to the next level. And lastly is a teach back culture, where this is where you as an organization allows sharing session, allows mentoring session within the senior leaders with the team, so that tacit knowledge can be shared across the institution. This is where your experience and knowledge that is accumulated over the years is being shared to the employees, so that they keep the way of the business runs, like some of the technical knowledge that they have discovered over the years, which is very helpful for the future of the business. All right. From these slides, if you notice that whatever the individual can do and the institution support is a codependency relationship. All right. So going back to the question just now, which is more important, is it to build a high-performing team or building a self-sustaining ecosystem? I hope you agree with me that these two are equally important and they have to work hand in hand. So as whichever stage you are right now as an organization, be it a startup or be it a MNC or a SME, you would need to build your team and the ecosystem at the same time in a way that they are supporting each other. Okay, so as a summary, to build an ever-ready organization, you would need to build your team and the institution in a way that whenever crisis happens, you are able to keep calm and huddle up to re-strategize and to realign. And remember this, you are not supposed to react. You have to respond to the situation. Okay? Thank you so much for having me, and I hope you enjoy the session.
And that wraps up our webinar for today. We would like to thank all of our speakers for imparting such useful insights with us. If you would like to find out more on the solutions presented today, do contact Infront Consulting and Softline Malaysia by email, or you can scan the QR code shown on your screen to complete their survey forms. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to type them in the chat box or comment section, and we will respond to them as soon as possible. Before we end our webinar for today, I have one final request, and that is for you to share your thoughts with us about today's webinar by completing a short survey for the Star Media Group. You may scan the QR code as shown on the screen to complete the survey, or go to bit.ly/Microsoft-survey. Your feedback is important for us to keep providing you with better event experiences. As promised, once you have completed the survey, you will be in the running to win a prize. We have a total of 500 ringgit worth of prizes up for grabs. You will receive a winner's email if your survey completion has been selected as one of the prize draw winners. And if you would like to arrange for a follow-up session with a Microsoft representative to discuss any of your organizational challenges or business concerns, you may indicate it in the survey as well. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for your kind participation and for staying with us all the way until the end of today's session. On behalf of Star Media Group, thank you to Microsoft Malaysia for the collaboration on this webinar. We look forward to hosting you at our next event soon. Until then, stay safe and take care.